Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new tutorial by PS Tutorials. Today we'll be looking at how to combine a human and an animal face. I've prepared an example for you and I'll guide you through the whole process in this lesson. So as you can see right now, these two look pretty blended, but I'm going to be showing you, like I said, I'm going to be going step by step what you need to do and how you need to do it. Okay, so let's just get out of that for now. So what I did, I went to Google, typed in portrait photography, and as you can see, quite a nice range of portraits, and it's great because the face is like quite central to the composition, so you don't have any distracting backgrounds, and it's quite easy to cut people out and stuff. So yep, I grabbed this photo here, which I believe I have up here, and then I went and did the same but for an animal. So just stick the word animal in front of it. There we go, and now I used this picture here, which I have up here. Okay, so now we're going to start, right click, copy image, whatever, and then file, new. Now the dimensions will be copied from the clipboard, so they'll be the exact same size as the image you've just copied. So we'll change this to 300, and that's pixels per inch, not pixels centimeter. This you don't have to really worry about this. This is only relevant for images that involve a lot of text, but I always set it to 300. Let's press OK, and then Control V to paste it, or you can go to Edit and Paste. And now I'm going to go back here, go to my animal picture, right click, copy, go back into here, Control V to paste. Now in the layers palette, just turn that top layer off of the dog, so now we can just work on the person. Now click on the person layer, and then you need to, if you want, you can go to the clone tool. In fact, let's use the paintbrush tool instead. Click the brush tool, make the size a bit bigger, so it's about that big, and then make sure your color is black, and then we're just going to paint over here because this is not relevant for this tutorial. Okay, now go back, just click off that, and then go to image, because we want to make our image black and white because it'll be much easier to blend in. Adjustments, and then desaturate. This takes all the color out of it. Now we can turn that animal layer back on, and then click on the animal layer. Right, now you can press Control and T. If you're on a Mac, I believe that's the Command and T. Or you can go to Edit and then Free Transform. Then you need to click this lock button here. This keeps the proportions the same so we don't warp the image. And then just bring that slider down a bit. In fact, press OK for now. And then in the layers palette you see opacity that decides how transparent this layer is. Let's turn it down to about 35%. Let's do 35. So then we can see how big we want to size it up. Just move you need to click the move tool up here, and now you have the ability to move your object. I'm just going to line it up roughly. Yep. And then press Control T again. And now you can do any resizing you want. Just bring that down a bit. That's nice, yeah. Press OK. And now you can turn the opacity back up to 100% because we know it's aligned. Right, now you need to click this button here. This is a layer mask. Right, now we've clicked layer mask. If we paint with our paintbrush, make sure to switch it to black down here. If we paint with our paintbrush, it will now rub it out. Now I could just use the eraser tool for this, but I want to be able to go back if we make any mistakes, whereas the eraser you can only undo a certain amount. Okay, so make sure in the layers palette, instead of clicked onto this thumbnail, you clicked onto the white one. Okay, now you can adjust your brush size however you want, and now I'm just going to rub roughly around here, around the bottom. I'm going to make my brush a bit smaller, and if you want this soft edge here, you need to go to the brush button up here, or you might have it here. So go up there, and then you need to bring up the hardness. Now this gets rid of this soft edge a bit. You see how it's much harder now? I just want you to go roughly around the edge. Be careful to avoid. Yep, it's good. And if you want, turn the softness all the way down and then just rub along the halfway line. So for this one I'm going to include the mouth of the dog. Just rub all that out, don't need that. Just move it up. It's good. Yeah, I'm liking that. Now if we switch back to white, whatever we've just rubbed out comes back into the picture, you see? But we don't want that. I'm just gonna bring a bit of that whiteness back, done. And then switch back to black, just rub a bit more. Right, now, you see how this ear, it's a bit low for the person's head. So we're gonna go back to this thumbnail, and then we're gonna select the Polygon Select tool, Polygon Lasso Tool, sorry, which will be under Lasso Tool. So click that, and now I want you to click anywhere in the picture, and we're just going to try and cut this ear out just above the eye. Yeah, that's good. And then click where you started to close it. We now have a selection of this area. Now go back to the Move tool and just bring that up a smidgen. Now don't worry about it all going black. It's fine, we'll adjust that in a minute. Right, now you've moved it up to where you want it. Press Control D, which deselects, or you can go to Select and deselect. Now go back to our layer mask, clicking that thumbnail, and then grab the paintbrush tool. Now we need to grab the white, because when we began like rubbing all this out, we rubbed out that top bit, you see. So now when we move it up, that area's been masked out. So we grab the white tool and just rub up here. Yep, that's good. That will do nicely. Okay. Now go back to our dog layer, and I want you to zoom in a bit. In fact, let me just close this animation tab. We don't need it. Zoom in a bit. Okay. Sorry about the low quality, but we'll just have to stick with that for the moment. Now you need to click the clone tool. Okay. This tool, maybe under pattern stamp tool, which looks like that. And then I want you make the brush a bit bigger, not too big. So that would do. You need to hold Alt, okay? And then I want you to click a nice big white part of the dog's hair, and then click once, and then let go. Right, now we've sampled that area where the brush is. So now if we paint down here, we will be painting that area up there. And I just want you to fill in that gap, and then if you need to, because it follows all the way along, if you need to, just Alt back and then paint again. Keep going. Be careful not to lose any of the eye. And just go along here. Keep going around. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Now we want to have a nice sharp edge here. Okay, just go back to here. We want to have a nice sharp edge here. So to achieve something like that, we can't. Well, we can use the rubber tool, but okay. So click the pen tool, which is this tool here. Okay, I'm gonna start at the base. You're gonna need to drag it out and then drag it towards the direction you want to go with the pen tool. We're gonna be creating a selection and then deleting it. So keep dragging this around the face of the dog. This is gonna take a while. Keep dragging. We can make any corrections later. Keep dragging. Bring it up. I believe that's part of the dog. Keep going, and then we'll have to make this bit up. And then always drag towards the direction you want to go, and then bring that up. Bring it up around the ear. Yep, it's nice. And bring that. And if you drag it more, you see, it gives it more of a bend, okay? Whereas if you just click it straight, you have nice straight edges, okay? If you ever want to go back more than one, so you've made two mistakes, press Control Z for the first one, and then Control Alt and Z. Control Alt Z, okay? So let's keep going around here. Bring that up and around. Nice. A bit more of a curve, so we'll bring it. Sorry, I'm really tired today. Just bring that around. Don't worry about cutting some of this off. Remember, it's only your first go. Go around, come out here, and then I want you just right now start clicking away, making sure to include all of this white area here. Okay, just click away around it. You can go out of the image if you want. Bring it all the way back down to where you started, and like the polygon lasso tool, just click where you started. Right now, right click, make selection. Okay, you get this dialog, and make sure this is 0. Okay, and then press OK. Now you can press delete, and voila, we have a nice sharp edge. If you want to make any more adjustments, just go in. I'll find somewhere. To be honest, it all looks. I'll do an example. Okay, go in somewhere. Make sure you're pointing it to the direction, dragging in, and then do the same process of right-click, make selection, make sure it's 0, press OK, delete, and there you go. You've made more adjustments. Okay. Right now that we've got that sorted, we need to get rid of this ear and a bit of the man's hair. Okay, so we'll go back to the paintbrush tool, making sure it's turn the brush down a bit, making sure it's set to black, and then go down to the man layer and just paint in. It's nice, and then be careful around here. If you want, you can turn the opacity down, and now it's not as strong, and we can just rub out, get rid of that hard edge just by clicking. Don't know if you can hear my mouse clicks. You see there's a bit of a beard down there, and that's good. Bit of a hard edge down here, don't like that. I'm just gonna, yeah, that'll do. Right now, you see how it looks really weird. In fact, go back to your dog layer. It depends. This is only appropriate for mine. I'm gonna press Control T. I'm just gonna drag this a bit, make it more skinny, and then using the move tool, I'm just going to press left on the arrow key a bit to bring it back to the position where it was. Okay, that's looking much better. Right now, see this here, I don't like this bit. I'm going to grab the rubber tool. Actually no, it's probably best to go to the layer mask. Click the layer mask, paintbrush, black, smaller radius, turn the opacity up, smaller radius, even smaller, and just rub some of that out. There we go. It's looking good. No, this looks a bit funny, doesn't it? Control Alt and Z, and just rub a bit of that out. Sorry, paint a bit of it out. We're still on the layer mask, remember? I'm going to turn the opacity down. 24 will do. No, that will do. Right now, see this? This should be in shadow, shouldn't it? And some of this face should be in shadow. But first, go back to your dog layer. We're just going to bring back down like the overall brightness of the dog layer. So go to Image, Adjustments, Brightness Contrast, and then adjust it so it's... By the way, I forgot to say, if your animal image is in color, make sure you desaturated it so then we're matching. Right, I'm going to bring mine down by about 50. That's looking nice. Press OK. Right now, there are some tools called the Burn and Dodge tools. The Burn tool is here, and the Dodge tool is here. Burn tool will darken your image, whereas Dodge tool will brighten your image. So we're going to darken first. Let's go to Burn, and that's a nice radius. Exposure, the more you turn it up, the stronger. So it's kind of like the opacity of the brush, okay? So stronger, the darker. It may be called something different if you've got a different version of Photoshop. I think it's called Strength. Don't worry about the range, we'll leave it as midtones for now. So now just go, keep clicking, loads. In fact, we'll probably have to rub a bit of that out later. Just click the areas where there should be shadow. And just bring a bit of that. See, it's looking much better now, isn't it? Keep clicking. Get rid of that. Nice. Nice. If you want to make any stronger adjustments, okay, make a new layer, go to your paintbrush tool, make sure it's set to black. I'm going to bring the radius up a bit. That's nice. And then turn the opacity down a bit. And then just paint over. I'm going to turn mine a bit further down, it's a bit too harsh, about 35. And I'm just going to go along the edge, making it a bit darker. And I'm going to do it up to this edge as well. Nice, that's looking good. Yeah. Right, I'm going to go back to my burn tool. I'm sorry, wrong layer. I need to go back to the dog layer. Just burn a bit of that in. Go back to the paintbrush layer. I'm going to darken this a bit. Make a bit smaller. Sorry, this process is very tedious. This just depends how accurate you want it to look. The more time you spend, the more accurate it's going to look. Go back to your dog layer. Now we're going to grab the highlight, the dodge tool, and this is going to create highlights. So I'm going to bring this up, probably bring this up, bit of that up, not too much, bring the nose. Okay, that's looking good. I'm going to grab the paintbrush tool, make sure it's set to black, make it a bit bigger, then go to our layer mask. I'm just going to rub a bit of that out. I've got a low opacity set, so. And now I'm going to darken this area up here. So go to the top layer. If you haven't created it, create a layer. Grab your paintbrush tool, make sure it's set to a low opacity, and I'm just gonna darken that out. Looking good. Nice. Right. Is that it? Looks it. Yeah, it's looking good. If you want to make any other adjustments, that's cool. Make those adjustments. Right now you see how it's all in layers. If it's in layers, it's going to have a slightly larger file size. So if you go to the layer menu and then flatten image, it brings it all down to one layer. And then when you save it, it should be a smaller file size. And then, well, we haven't covered saving yet, so we'll just go file, save as, whatever, dog man thing, dog man thing. And TIFF is the highest quality I think out there. It doesn't have any compression whatsoever. PNG is the same, except it can have compression, and it also holds transparency and stuff for the internet. So let's just save it as JPEG, something nice and simple, and press OK. And make sure, well, it depends what quality you want. You can have low. I always set mine to 12, press OK, and you're done. That's it, ladies and gentlemen.